Hello, this is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly swing trade ideas video where we bring you stocks based on a variety of discretionary, technical, and quantitative criteria, all of which we're going to break down for you in just a moment. As always, these videos are sponsored by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate our long ideas from IBD's stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. Now, I thought I'd kick things off here with a chart I haven't shown in recent memory, or not that I can remember anyway, of our sector grid overlaid with the smart trend filter indicator that we've developed. So let's just take a quick look at this here. So you see there is no price on these charts. These are just an indicator, and they are multicolored dots, so green, yellow, or red, to display sort of the trend outlook, or our outlook on the particular, in this case, sector of the market. And red bearish, yellow neutral transition, green is bullish, and this measures price and volume across time. And so I think especially in times like this, it's good to just take a look at this and see the disparity out there in the market. Because when we look at this grid, so these are all of the sectors on the S&P. I mean, we got IBB in here, so we got spider sectors and a few others, but we essentially can see that there's only 3 sectors that are in the green. The first is top left is XLK. So this is technology printing a bullish trend outlook here, and it's been that way for a while. All the way in the bottom left, IBB. So bullish trend here being printed. And then up here in the middle is XLY. So this actually just turned bullish today, consumer discretionary. And you can see that flipped up to its bullish buy signal today. Oh, actually, it looks like this must have just happened. XLV down here as well, also flipping today here to the bullish buy signal. Look at everything else though. So we've got 4 sectors that are in the red. So financials here, industrials, materials, staples, utilities, all of these are in the red. Now remember, it's worth noting this is a daily time frame. We could flip this to a weekly time frame. Trends over a longer time span are going to look different, but if you're a shorter term trader, I think this is just interesting to see right now on how split the market is right now. And we are, really seeing that tech, NASDAQ, semiconductors, biotech really back into the leadership seat where it really has spent most of its time. So I won't go any further. This is a cool chart, though, I think, to see just all the differences out there. This is our smart trend filter in Warden TC2000. All right, let's get into some specific stocks, and let's get over to the usual grid here. So yeah, the Qs, I just wanted to touch on that one more time. So again, look at the Qs here on a daily chart. So you can see here the Qs, technology, closing at all-time highs today. There's not really, so you look at the Dow Jones, is well off of its highs. Look at the SPY, close to its highs, but not quite at highs. IWM, still in a range. So Q's definitely out here in terms of the major indices, and really we should be looking at the comp specifically. You can see is just trading up at highs. Okay, let's get into some specific ideas. I saw lots of stocks in consolidation patterns today, so I wanted to just pull 4 different ones that were in some very tight consolidations and take a look at those. So let's just do that. So CSIQ, this is the first name here. So these are all coming from, at least the first 3 here are coming from our ultimate consolidation scan, and the last one's coming from our Bollinger Band squeeze scan. All of these are available on our website for download if you're a TC2000 user. So the first one here is CSIQ, Canadian Solar. You can see this has been in a pretty strong uptrend here for the past 12, 18 months now, but over this year, basically, it topped out around $60 and it's been consolidating. And you can see, in fact, if you just look at certainly this tighter range here, you can see that we've got a nice tight consolidation going on here. You can see this is coming right where it was spending a lot of time back here in late 2020. So we're kind of waiting here. The long-term trend is still up. We put in this nice little bottom here in May. We lifted up above it. We're consolidating. So this is where it kind of makes that do or die move, where this becomes the higher low, and we can start breaking out to the upside. Or if we're going to continue in this slog lower here, then we're going to start breaking below 37 and head back to these lows. So CSIQ, I think it's an interesting one to watch, especially if you like the longer term fundamentals on solar and this stock specifically. Next up is Uber. So Uber here, very similar, is hitting our ultimate consolidation scan in the short term. So you can see here, this has got a pretty similar look where it bottomed out just a few weeks ago in early May. It drove off of those lows, and now it is consolidating here in a pretty tight range, especially for a stock like this. If we zoom out, you can see this is, recently IPO'd in 2019, hasn't done a whole lot. It is above its IPO price, but it's not quite back at all-time highs. You can see there's lots of kind of supply up here in the 55s to 60s to deal with. So that's what, looks like the stock is kind of getting ready to think about is, are there enough buyers to kind of push us back up and break out over this 5170 area, come back into this old balance range up here? Or, do we have more kind of checking down and lower to do and break down below 47? That's what we'd be waiting on inside of this range. Next up is CNK. So this one's a longer term, hitting our ultimate consolidation, but on a long-term outlook. So this one here obviously saw a very rough period in early Corona, getting all the way down to $5. Since back up at $20. So it's had a hell of a ride here. And of course, this IPO in 2015 went sideways for about 4 years until, the old COVID crisis kind of broke it out of its range. And now it's getting back up here, and it is just kind of hanging out up in this $20 to $25 range. It's been like that all year long. And again, it's just a nice consolidation pattern to pay attention to. We don't try and predict necessarily which way this is going to go. This is just helps us build a watch list and know the levels where we would want to potentially transact at. And that's why we look at these types of consolidations. That's why this scan is useful. So you can see it's lifting up today, nice kind of day one move, but still has plenty of work to do. It's going to get over $25 to really start breaking out and getting back up into the old multi-year range. Last but not least for the technical setup is GPN. So this is hitting our Bollinger Band squeeze scan. So if I throw on Bollinger Bands here, you can see we got some very tight bands coming in here on GPN, and this is similar to a consolidation pattern, just looks for consolidations in a different way, just uses Bollinger Bands to spot its opportunities. And you can see these are the tightest these bands have been in a very long time here, and just take a look at how tight price action is. So if we look here at GPN, you are looking for sort of a resolve from a little more of a slanted kind of channel, drift into the downside just a little bit. And this is what you'd be looking for to see if we can start to get a break out of this. Longer term, we are in an uptrend. It's a little bit messy here recently, but you'd be looking at these bounds here to look for your trade opportunity. Last but not least, I wanted to present one stock idea that we recently entered. This is Activision Blizzard, ATVI. This is a position that we are long, so we hold a position in this stock right now. We are actually down on this stock. I believe we own it in the 91s, so we are down about $1 on this stock. And this is coming from our Lamerick trading system, so it's a short-term swing trading system. Looks to hold stocks for about 3, 4, 5 days. It's got about a 65% win rate in its accuracy, so it's usually pretty accurate when it goes after a stock, but it doesn't hold on very long. And again, we'll be out of this trade in the next handful of days, I'm sure. So it's looking for a quick flip, hopefully back into the mid 90s. Otherwise, it's going to be bailing on this, but it has entered the stock around 91 and change, upper 91s actually, I think. And we are currently sitting tight in this name. So that's it. That's what I have for this week's video. Changed things up, just did all consolidations because I saw so many of them out there that I thought I'd bring out a few of them. So again, maybe not ready just yet on any of the ideas we talked about but something you can add to your watch list. And keep in mind those sector outlooks that we talked about at the top of the show. Thanks, as always, for tuning in every Wednesday. Trade ideas just like this. Thanks to IBD for sponsoring this video as well. Have a great rest of your day. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of the latest. And have a great day. We'll see you back here on Friday for the long-form market analysis video.